So it starts this whole process. So that just ruins your walk or whatever.
Yep.
So you can't incubate dudes.
Yeah, because
By
it
walking.
takes so goddamn long that you have to like stand around for 5 minutes getting back into the app or whatever.
If you
Like
can.
it's a testament to how dope an idea it is that it's so poor. Like they couldn't have done a shittier job at implementing it. Basically, it's just the idea that is selling the app. Like it's one of those things where it's like it makes me really mad, like because like we work really hard on stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we work pretty hard making the comic that nobody reads or whatever, and yet everyone in the world plays Pokemon Go, and we could have shit out a better app than that, but we don't have the Pokemon brand. You know, like, that's all it is. It's just a brand. Like, it's just because it's a fucking Pokemon smartphone game. Like, the same thing happened when there was a bootleg Pokemon Yellow on the fucking App Store for a little while.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even actually anybody having done any work at all in that case.
Yeah.
And they made a fucking $1 million. It's such bullshit. That's why like I don't care that nobody watches our video or reads our comic, because like I hate those motherfuckers anyway. Like, I hate everybody anyway. I don't want them to read our shit. Everybody's so stupid. Everybody's so gullible.
Yeah. There's a lot of...
Why is that not... Go up! You have to do something to make it go up? You must have to, like, pass through one of these.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Stupid.
God damn it! Just lost all my health. I might as well just, like...
You can't even die. The other problem...
That's where that goddamn pattern buffer is.
Nice.
Well, now I know.
Yep.
I'm gonna run back to the beginning, get that health, and then go get that pattern buffer.
Fucking... Live, die, repeat. Edge of Tomorrow.
Tom Cruise. Hashtag Tom Cruise. Man, I was watching the Joe Rogan podcast recently, and it was like a episode where he had Russell Brand on. What?
Yeah.
What are you talking
I just remembered a joke you did the other day.
about? What was my brilliant joke?
It was a movie, a theoretical movie called The Last Fruit Snack, starring Tom Cruise. And it's just a fruit snack with Tom Cruise's hair. It's like the poster or whatever.
you need to make that. You need to draw that. Photoshop that shit, dog. $1 million.
That's a good...
It's $1 million idea right there.
I bet Tom Cruise would be down for that.
I think
We should get Tom Cruise.
We should just get Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see if he's busy. See if Tom Cruise is busy. He told me to call him Tom.
Hi, I'm Tom. Sorry. What were you saying about Russell Brand?
I was saying that. So this is Tom Cruise related. So Joe Rogan was interviewing Russell Brand, and Russell Brand had been like in Rock of Ages recently with Tom Cruise or whatever, and he was talking about how, like, when you meet Tom Cruise, you got all these prejudices about Tom Cruise, and you're like all ready to hate him or whatever, and then you just meet him, and he's so sweet and like thoughtful and charming that all just melts away, and you're just a big Tom Cruise fan after that. And he told the story about how, like, you know, Tom Cruise had been great to him. He had, like, you know, you'd bring up like your aunt in conversation, and then Tom Cruise would bring up that same aunt the next day when he was talking to you or whatever.
Yeah.
In like a thoughtful, actual way, not just in like a token way. And you know, he's just talking about how great Tom Cruise is, and then like there's a part where he's like, and then we had this dinner that I was super late to, so everybody else had already eaten, and they were like, "Do you want to eat, Russell?" And I was like, "Yeah." So they gave me some spaghetti and just sat me across from Tom Cruise. And spaghetti is like a complicated food to eat in front of Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
So he's just getting all messy and stuff.
Spaghetti's always a complicated food to eat. like actual spaghetti.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand why that's a noodle that people.
And he's talking about how like so he's eating spaghetti in front of Tom Cruise, getting all gross, and he brought up communism for some reason, which was a bad idea because it's just like a bad topic of conversation to talk about with somebody you don't know.
Yeah.
So Tom Cruise was really gracious about it. He was just like, I don't know about all that, basically, about the communism stuff. And Russell Brand is just like trying to sell him on the idea of it. So he was like, let me explain this to you. Like, there's major inequalities. Like, you're Tom Cruise, you know? And Tom Cruise was like, what? And he was like, it's different being Tom Cruise. Like, you were born with some shit that nobody else has. So that makes you just, like, more fortunate than other people. And Tom Cruise could not wrap his head around that concept. He was just like, what? Like, Tom Cruise apparently just thinks that he's some regular guy who just, like, has this job or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what Tom Cruise, like, genuinely thinks
He's
about
9
himself.
to 5.
Yeah. And he just wasn't having any of it. Like, Russell Brand was trying to convince him that there was something special or unique about being Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise wasn't having it.
Yeah. He seems nice to me, like just from the outside.
I mean, that's literally what every person who's ever met him says about Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Like people have a bunch of bad stuff to say about him who have never met him, but like, there's so many reports of his kindness and awesomeness, you know, just like fucking Kevin Smith and and fucking like Emily Blunt and what's his name, and Russell Brand, like,
yeah.
there's a bunch of people. All the people I've ever heard talk about Tom Cruise are just like, yeah, he's fucking great. He's ridiculous. He's goddamn Tom Cruise.
I like him so much in movies that I want to like him a lot. Like he's just like, he's great. Pretty much like everything I've ever seen him in.
Yeah.
He's like a Tom Hanks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a Tom.
Yeah. Prime Tom.
Prime Tom theory. Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy?
Tom Hardy isn't a Tom Hanks, though. Tom Hardy's good, but for like completely different reasons.
Yeah.
God damn it. I thought maybe. I feel like I've done that before. Where does this go again? Let's go down. Do I care about this?
That
now?
stairwell is annoying.
She's buying a stairwell to heaven. Yeah. Yeah, Tom Cruise I'm not even mad about. Like, Pokemon Go makes me mad because it's so shitty and everybody likes it.
Yeah.
But, like, Tom Cruise, I ain't even mad. Like, yeah, all right, Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
In fact, the funny thing about that is that everybody hates Tom Cruise.
That's kind of true.
Like, everybody hates Tom Cruise, but he's one of, like, 2 people in the world who can guarantee a movie is a success just by having his name as a fucking producer credit on it, let alone being in the movie, you know?
He's incredible at act.
Yeah.
Man.
He's just like, yeah, he's just real solid at that. People always try to make these weird arguments like I get what Billy West was saying. I heard this interview one time where Billy West, you know, the guy who does all the voices in Futurama, basically, was talking about how, like, he doesn't like when famous actors get drafted for like, you know, voiceover roles, like when Alec Baldwin is the voice of a guy in the SpongeBob movie or whatever. He doesn't like that because, like, they get paid way more than regular voice actors do.
Yeah.
And they're worse at, like, his argument was I'm so bad at this. His argument, I'm so bad at figuring out level. His argument was that those actors get paid way more to do, like, a shittier job, and his argument for why the job was shittier is just because they can't do a lot of different kinds of voices. And it's like, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it's cool that you can do lots of voices, Billy West, but that doesn't make you a great actor. Like, you're also a good actor on top of you can do a bunch of silly voices. But, like, being able to do a bunch of silly voices does not make you a great actor. But that's what Billy West thinks, kinda, I think. Like,
yeah.
that's
People
what
also
he was
don't
kind
like
of
people who can
implying.
only kind of do one thing.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah, I guess
in
that's the
general,
thing.
like even if it's just acting.
Yeah.
But
Do I need to go down there? I don't understand.
you can do a lot of different kinds of
I've already
acting with
fucking been
just one voice, though.
Yeah, so that was so the point I'm getting to is that Billy West said some shit about like not liking when Alec Baldwin gets paid a lot to be in a thing when he thinks he should be in it because he can do a bunch of zany voices or whatever, and it's like it's two different things, man. And then like there was this interview on the Graham Norton show, which is an awesome chat show in England.
Yeah, that show is
About
great.
like it's basically just a talk show where he has the two hosts on at the same time so they can fucking talk to each other.
2 or 3 guests.
Yeah, 2 or 3 guests all on the same.
For like an hour.
Yeah, for like a really long time, and they just talk.
So it's just
Which is like
like
what you
Tom
want.
Cruise and Tom Hardy and Tom Hanks. on the
Yeah,
panel.
they did one with like Simon Pegg and Tom Hanks, which was great. And one they did with Seth MacFarlane and Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise was super nice, and he's just clearly like a huge Seth MacFarlane fan.
Yeah.
I guess you just can't do that. I totally feel like I got up there one time before though.
It doesn't
So
seem like it.
So he's a huge Seth MacFarlane fan. So he's just, like Tom Cruise is asking Seth MacFarlane questions. He's just like, how do you do this? Or like, what do you, can you do this voice or whatever? Just like as a fan. And then, at some point Graham Norton was like, what voices can you do, Tom? And Tom was like, well,
Oh,
I can do a mean Donald Duck or
Yeah,
whatever. And then
I
he
remember
said like
him.
one
I
line
remember
and then
that
started
clip.
laughing or whatever.
yeah.
And people in the comments like were such assholes about it because they were basically just like proof that Seth MacFarlane can act circles around Tom Cruise, and it's like, no, like the fact that Tom Cruise can't do a bunch of silly voices doesn't mean that he's not a good actor.
Yeah.
Like, I wish people would just be correct about things. Like, people hate Tom Cruise because of the Scientology thing. That's why people hate Tom Cruise. So hate him because of that. Don't like make up a bunch of not technically correct reasons that you hate a guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
People just start to like things that for anyone else they wouldn't care about at all.
Yeah.
Like they just start to hate those, like they pick up anything that can be used as
Yeah.
fuel for hatred.
yeah, anything at all, even if it's something that they would not use if they
Look at
liked
his
the person.
stupid hair. It's
Yeah,
so
look-
stupid and hairy.
He's
or whatever.
like got hair. He's so stupid with his hair. God damn it, where did those assholes come from? They just came out of this wall here. So yeah, I just think that Tom Cruise is pretty cool. I kind of have this opinion where it's like, yeah, maybe he's crazy. Maybe he did some shit to Katie Holmes or whatever, but I don't think he like hurt her. I don't think she ever said that. And I think like a lot of the stuff was just kind of like, he's a little bit weird and he has a weird religion, and Katie Holmes married him because she's stupid. And then he was a real weirdo, like she should have known he was. And then she had to get out or whatever. Like, it's just kind of like, well, okay. Like, I don't know what you're trying to tell me right now. Like, like all these motherfuckers who hate Tom Cruise because he's a fucking Scientologist probably like fucking meditate for the Eucharist or whatever. You are also insane. Your belief is also insane. If you believe in any kind of higher power at all, you are just as insane. Like, it's qualitatively exactly the same. So like, you can't. That also, like, you don't even know what he actually fucking thinks or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what he's like.
Yeah,
And all the people who do know what he's like say he's awesome. So like, I don't know what you're trying to tell me.
also The Last Samurai.
This is people hate that movie.
it's
That's a
so
terrible
great,
thing
though.
for you to have brought up if you're trying to champion our cause.
I don't care if people get behind us or whatever.
People are like, fucking Dances with Wolves clone. Fucking same story again. Even though it's not. It's kind of not. It's like, it's got one element in common with that story that people are referring to, which is that it's like a guy, a white dude who like goes into some indigenous culture somewhere.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. Like the criticism that people have of that formula is it's like white dude becomes champion of indigenous culture and leads them to
like Avatar.
Yeah, but that's not what happens. He just joins their ranks
it's
as
way
like
more
they're
tasteful.
the lowest
Like,
person on the totem pole.
He gives them some counsel, like a little. He gives them an idea.
He gives them like a different perspective, which like anybody from any
which is
culture-
what they give him. Like
Yeah.
that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like it's about how this dude who hates American culture finds some measure of peace.
and he doesn't champion
In-
them to victory. Like they all
No.
get killed.
Yeah, they all get killed.